The Apprentice returned with a splash on Thursday after the series was rested for 2 years due to the COVID pandemic. The first episode of Series 16 kicked off with a challenge on a cruise ship, with the candidates split into teams and tasked with designing an advertising campaign for a destination cruise. Yet ultimately it was the boys' team were unable to stay afloat, with their cruise logo compared to a TURD, while Harry Mahmood ended up becoming the first candidate to be fired. Before getting down to business, Lord Sugar introduced his new aide, Series 1 winner Tim Campbell, who is replacing Claude Littner for a series after he was injured in an e-bike accident. Addressing the candidates, Lord Sugar began, "I must say, we are glad to be back in the boardroom again. But don't for 1 minute think I've gone soft. Due to the pandemic, the world of business is tougher than ever before, and the same goes for this process. In this boardroom you don't get furloughed, you get fired." After some gentle teasing with the new candidates, Lord Sugar revealed their first task would be to create a brand, TV advert and social media tease for a new cruise company. Digital marketing agency owner Akshay Thakrar put himself forward as project manager for the men's team. For the ladies, online pajama store owner Catherine Louise Byrne was quick to offer herself up for the role, but immediately ruffled feathers by refusing to take her colleagues' ideas on board. Tensions continue during the task, with Amy Enzel and Harpreet Kaur struggling to settle on an idea for branding. Things weren't any better on the men's team, with Harry and Akeem Bundu Kamara unable to settle on a logo, which ultimately ended up resembling a rotten banana. Even aide Karen Brady was at a loss, unable to understand why they hadn't thought to include their brand name. The candidates then turned their attention to shooting an advert, with Amy taking the reins as director, although she struggled to get her ideas across with her talkative team. Akshay took over directing duties on the other team and took a different approach in refusing to listen to his teammates. After a rocky start to day one, the 16 candidates are treated to the big reveal of their marketing material at 7 a.m. the next morning. As it emerges that neither the men or female team are pleased upon the big reveal, scenes turn tense as they move on to editing their adverts. Karen wasn't impressed with the men's efforts on their brand sequelity, noting the men's advert looked like one for an old people's home rather than a luxury ship. Their logo also didn't go down well, with one person remarking it looked like projectile vomit, while another noted it resembled a turd. The girls suffered a similar fate, as while their logo wasn't compared to any bodily fluids, several people were unable to understand their name, Bougie Cruises. Back in the boardroom, Lord Sugar was left unimpressed with both teams. For the ladies, he took issue with their confusing brand name, female-heavy TV advert and the uninspiring social advert. Moving on to the boys, Lord Sugar was left flabbergasted by the fecal-resembling logo as it flashed up on the screen. Lord Sugar then revealed he had relied on the industry experts to pick the winning team this time, announcing that the ladies' team had won because their overall campaign had more synergy throughout. As the men headed to the famous Bridge Cafe to discuss where they went wrong, the group were unable to settle on who exactly was to blame for the failure of the task. Once inside the boardroom, the men are left squabbling among themselves, with Lord Sugar remarking that it was like the band playing for the final time on the Titanic. Team leader Akshay then decided to bring back Akeem and Harry for a more intense grilling with Lord Sugar, much to Harry's chagrin. Turning to Karen for some advice on the final 3, she informed Lord Sugar that Akshay believes himself to be better than he really is, while Akeem focused on hitting deadlines rather than putting out quality content. Tim then reasoned that while Harry may have been right in opposing the logo, all the team had complained that he was a negative force on the group. Ultimately, Lord Sugar sided with Tim and the opinions of the rest of the team, and ended up firing disruptive Harry after a tense final showdown in the boardroom. After being thrown in the deep end during the first task, the remaining candidates will face a host of equally daunting challenges ahead as relationships are tested and competitive drive is flared. The tasks include being launched into the world of children's oral care, an adventurous brief to boost Welsh tourism with zip lines and steam trains, and the development of an original video game concept will also take things up another level. The budding entrepreneurs will also find themselves in the spotlight as they sell live on TV, negotiate fishy waters in Cornwall and navigate a racing-inspired corporate away day at Silverstone. There will be no easing gently back into boardroom life this series, as Lord Sugar has made no secret that the stakes are higher than ever. Each task will end with the candidates being summoned in to fight their corner in the boardroom, with one final opportunity to escape the firing line. The Apprentice airs on Thursday at 9 p.m. on BBC One, followed by You're Fired on BBC Two. Watch live and on demand on BBC iPlayer.